IG's turn. IG's turn to ban. IG's turn to ban.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Game number 4. Na'Vi is on the ropes in the grand finals for the International 2. IG has claimed the advantage 2-1, but if anybody can come back from a deficit, it is Na'Vi. We are LD and Luminous, and everybody make some noise, whether you're a fan of Na'Vi, whether you're a fan of IG, or if you just love Dota 2. These teams have been giving their all, and we're about to see what can Na'Vi do to deal with IG right now.
So much of the game actually happens in these drafts. You know, we know both these teams capable of having great plays. We know what Dandy can do. We saw what Faith could do in the last game given the right hero. But the game starts with the draft. IG has the first pick. Rubik's got to be one of the contenders. So is Darkseer. Naga not so much anymore, at least not in this series. Adjustment has to be made. Na'Vi showing that they can make the adjustment in game 2. They have to make the adjustment now or they're going home.
Right, they're going home, and the question is, if they don't make the adjustment, the question is, will IG show the same strategy this time, or will they go for something different? Lone Druid's in the pool, want to go for it. Rubik could be the first pick here, and if IG doesn't take it, you have to think Na'Vi might look towards it. They talked about it well in the analyst booth. I really agreed with what Nebula was saying. Dragon Knight just doesn't have that kind of impact early on. It's generally a hero that you see getting farm in the safe lane because he needs a certain level of items as well as levels before he can really make a big impact. Rubik can get started so quickly, even once he hits level 6. IG really deliberating, and they're going to start with Darkseer.
Yeah, I think every draft so far has been started with a Darkseer. It's going to be Rubik, it's going to be Leshrac. The same old story here for Na'Vi. Again, last time we saw Puppey handling the Rubik. It can be that again, but it could be the high impact Dandy. I completely agree with Dragon Knight just being slow. Nature's Prophet as a hero was pretty slow. I mean, sure, he gives you some late game powers, Midas, Wrath of Nature, but again, he doesn't get going quick. And right now, IG says, we want to get going quick. IG got level 5 heroes like 5-6 minutes in on everybody. They were just so far ahead in EXP. I don't think they ever look back. Yeah, the Rubik will be the pick here for Na'Vi. Is it going to be Puppey handling it as a support this time, or is it going to go into Dendy's hands? They have the options there. Support Rubik can be effective. It's just last game it wasn't. Are we going to see the Lone Druid? I feel for IG. Maybe they go in that direction again. The Bear really helped set up Darkseer. For me, that was the very unique and effective thing about the way that IG played. No, they go back to the combo. Wow. They go back to the Naga Siren and the Darkseer together. And is it going to work this time? Or is Na'Vi going to shut it down? They've done it before. Rubik is really maybe the best hero to shut it down with. Yeah, I mean, sure, you set up the sleep, but as you're setting up sleep, if the Rubik is not being slept, or if he's kind of outside somewhere, or if he has fast enough reaction rate, which I think there's a player on the team, a couple players on the team that do have that quick reaction, you're just going to get your spell stolen. Now, we made the same analysis last game, but if we saw the Rubik being played on the support, he's just not quick enough. He's not survivable enough. So it really depends on the role where he falls into. Rubik is a hero that you can't just jam it into your team and expect the same performance without any farming. Yeah, we'll see if he gets that farm this game. Templar Assassin, it's Ferrari, one of his favorite heroes. This hero did so much work. Wow, and here we go. Here we go. A repeat of game number 2 from yesterday, perhaps. But right now, they're not afraid of the Naga Sleep. Of course, Juggernaut, Blade Fury providing instant. There is no black hole this time. And the Juggernaut was exciting. It was a different pick, but really it was the Light of Heaven's black holes that won that game. Still, there are options. Tidehunter's in the pool if you want to go in that direction. And having Rubik available to steal something like Vacuum, Sleep, or the Wall, comboing that up with Tidehunter could be devastating. Juggernaut, a decent hero to have against TA, does a little bit of damage over time with the Blade Fury, also pretty survivable in general. The net will go through that, could be a problem for him. Most likely going to be played by Havost. This still leaves room for Rubik to go into that solo mid lane, so I'm still thinking that will be played by Dendy. Enchantress is the ban here. Chen is available. Are we going to see 2 jungle bans in a row from IG? It can be. I've seen IG leash Chen in. It seems like they just don't want to deal with Chen too much. There was that early Chen ban in one of the previous games. Now it seems like they are not too worried about it. Chen does give you some early game pushing, and look at this. Disruptor ban. We haven't seen this at all, right?
Another respect ban.
Yes.
It was so effective last game. I feel to not ban it would be basically maybe sealing your own fate. It's such a good way to set everything up. We saw last game the bear can give you vision, and then traps could do the same thing in this game for the TA, setting up that glimpse, setting up the team fight. And once this team gets one pick, this lineup more so than last game, if they start winning a fight with Surge, with Templar Assassins traps, and with the sleep, they will catch up and they will pick you off. So Na'Vi, they have to pick a lineup that's not going to fall behind in fights and be forced to run, because this lineup can't run.
Well, don't forget that Juggernaut is still a very, very powerful level 2 pusher with that healing ward. We have not seen Na'Vi play like that. It's going to be extremely difficult to push against Darkseer, but the possibility is always there. Shadow Shaman is going to be the last ban for Na'Vi, so no support pusher for IG. Finally, we're back to IG side here. What is it going to be? Is it going to be the standard Lina? They don't have a follow-up. Leshrakt's not in the pool anymore, so they do tend to look to Lina very much so. Or do they pick up more AoE TIE Hunters there? And they are going to go with Tide instead. So they're going to just go with a big...
This lineup is very weak in the laning phase. They have, well, not very weak, but they have 4 heroes that are basically melee heroes. There's not a whole lot of control on this team. They could throw Darkseer in the jungle. They could have an off-lane Tidehunter, Naga in the safe lane, TA mid. But these are heroes that don't really dominate lanes by themselves generally.
Yeah, they're very slow as well. You need level 6 on Tidehunter. We saw how weak that level 1 vacuum is on Darkseer. You gotta just max that thing. Of course, Templar Assassin, sure, she could do fine in the lane. She needs phase, she needs blink. That's a lot of farm and a lot of levels. And I'm not sure they have the time for it. If Juggernaut decides to push at level 2 or 1, is Darkseer Iron Shell enough to stop that push?
I'm not sure. Where's the rest of the push going to come from? Right now, Na'Vi, they have a Leshract and a Juggernaut, strong pushing heroes, but what's actually going to tank the tower damage? They don't have that just yet. The healing ward, helpful to keep the creeps alive, but early on it's not going to be enough by itself. They don't really have an off-lane hero at the moment. Maybe they'll run some sort of aggressive tri-lane or duel. That's certainly an option for them if they pick something up that fits into that, but they haven't really tipped their hand yet. They have that option to push. Juggernaut is not a bad mid-game carry if you want to drag the game out, if you don't want to be overly aggressive early on. So I feel they have some options, but if you let Nagasar and Darkseer get enough levels, especially the Tidehunter too, it's going to be really hard to deal with it. And without the Enigma Black Hole, I am a little concerned for Na'Vi. They got to get early towers, they got to get ahead, because if they don't, it's going to be trouble.
Now, the Enigma Black Hole is sort of quote-unquote replaceable if you get enough heroes with Black King Bar.
Right.
Right, they could all just pop the BKB and Ravage hits, you know, maybe 2 or 1. It's going to be critical for Rubik to get the quick BKB. Because if he survives that one, he will steal the Ravage and he will Ravage you back. Right, so up to whoever played the Rubik, it's got to be a farming role though, because I don't see a support Rubik getting that quick BKB.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a farming Rubik as well. It's got to be most likely a solo mid Rubik. Maybe they throw him in the safe lane. But, I mean, we have seen, it's a lone Druid for Na'Vi. There's your beef in the front lines. This can tank the tower shots. This can push hard and fast early on. And now the healing ward feels really good, but some big anti-push. Keeper of the Light, the last pick from IG. Another hero we haven't seen them play too much.
Yeah, is it the counter push? It has to be it, right? Again, their team don't have too much before the level 6. And Keeper of Light gives you that. I mean, right at level 1, that's a big AoE nuke, and it's going to be somewhat difficult to push against.
I wonder how they're going to lane this. There's a lot of options for them. Probably we're going to see TA go into the safe lane. I guess Darkseer off lane. Keeper of the Light can roam around. He can start off top, do some pulling. If they need him on that off lane, they can put him there. Get Tidehunter some levels. Naga safe lane.
Whoa! Nyx Assassin!
We don't need to say anything. The crowd is speaking for us right now. Lumi, let's talk about Nyx Assassin. Let's talk about this hero, right? We have not seen this hero at all. What does this hero bring to the table? What is unique about it that is going to make it a good choice here for Na'Vi? What are they going for with this?
I'm highlighting the skill on the screen right now, although it's not showing up on the main board, but Spike Carapace.
This could be the bane of TA's existence.
It really could be. I mean, it doesn't it's so hard to explain. It kind of reflects the damage, it reflects the stun at you, and you can't control it. If Illuminates can fire back, you're just taking damage for free.
And it's Puppey playing it, so how is he going to play it? What lane is he going to go into with this hero? I'm really not sure. But let's go ahead and introduce the players. Dendi will be playing the Rubik, most likely going solo mid. Havos on the Juggernaut. Marina Protection already picked up, going for some early push. Light of Heaven playing that lone Druid. All of Na'Vi heading towards the bottom lane. Puppey handling the Nyx Assassin. And finally, it's going to be Arsart on that Leshrac. Are they thinking about?
I don't think they can do it. They will have to get the Ring of Basays quick, and yeah, they're just checking out and making sure they're placing down some. Of course, Zoe going to be picking the Naga Siren. Ferrari, of course, will be handling our assassin. YYF playing the Dark Chuan on the TY100, and last but not least, Faith, the captain of the light. But Puppey, though, here's the thing. What build is going to be going for? Spike Carapace is a very, very powerful spell, but this hero in general needs so much EXP, so much time to get the EXP.
30 seconds to
How do you play this early?
This hero was recently remade. In his most recent iteration before he got Spike Carapace, he had an ability known as the Scarabs that you could summon at level 1 from corpses. They provide an AoE silence. If you have really good micro, he can be played as a hard support, but with his new set of abilities not having those Scarabs anymore, I feel he has to be given more farm, more levels early on. Mana Burn is nice, Impale is nice, Spike Carapace can be strong, but you need the levels to be and the farm so that you're not just going to die instantly, because IG have that burst damage with the So we'll have to see how they run it. It looks like they might off high lane. I mean, maybe going to try and set up some kills early and get an advantage that way.
At worst, it's a Lee stun, right, for the splitter to hit, and of course a Blade Fury be coming in. So that's already a very potent tri-lane.
But it's a melee hero providing that. So.
Well, he's always going to stun. It's going to be up to Arzar to really do a lot of the frontal harass. And to be honest, if you're Zoe, if you're TY100, do you even want to go in and harass that Juggernaut? Because you could be dying very, very quickly. Level 1 spin, it's 500 damage.
Oh, look at the Illuminate already. This is the bane of many tri-lanes existence, or many tri-lanes existence in the past. There's your Impale. They want to go on with the Blade Fury. And you're right, there is some great chain stun and burst damage potential for Na'Vi, starting with the Impale, following with the Split Earth, and once there's Edict, that'll hurt quite a bit, and Blade Fury on top of it all. They could bring some heroes down early, but that's only if they find bad position. Though, if he just sits back and collects experience, if you run an offensive tri-lane, you're not stopping them from pulling, you're not stopping them from getting the extra levels and farm that way, you're going to fall behind. So Na'Vi, by running this tri-lane, they're taking a big risk. They have to make something good happen here. This is not a tri-lane that can do a whole lot. You can't leave Havost, except for win the lane. You can't leave Havost alone. If you do, he's not going to do anything against the Naga Siren, especially not with the support he'll have. He can probably survive, but he's not going to farm well. So it's not like they're throwing a Windrunner into a tri-lane, where if they want to roam, if they want to leave the lane, they can do. They have to make something happen here. Not right now, but in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah,
on the other side lanes, it's going to be fairly, wash, I got to say. YYF's Darkseer against Sleight of Hand's Lone Druid, both heroes going to have their advantages and disadvantages. It's going to become somewhat very, very even. Back in the mid lane here, Denny's taking some damage from the harass, but this is mostly going to be a wash lane as well. Or30's going to have some slight advantage with his refraction, but a big engagement in the jungle. Havo's pulling. It's going to be up to this tri-lane on the bot lane for both teams to set the pace.
Yeah, Chuan's already level 2, the light, not getting too much. So getting level 2, not too far off of level 3, and if he gets enough levels between Riptide and Illuminate, they can do a lot of harassment from range. Once the illusion's there, Surge in top lane, YYF really going on to Light of Heaven. Does he thinking towards the first blood? He's not taking tower focus, now he is. That's going to force him back. But this is a situation where Lone Druid can win the lane in having the better auto attack damage, more harassment. But if YYF can close the gap like that and get a bunch of Iron Shell damage, could see Light of Heaven fall, so Light of Heaven has to be careful. Fine for now, but YYF playing this off lane, I have to say, very well so far, leading the farm charts, already 14-2. And to do that against Lone Druid is no small task.
Not trying to steal a couple creeps. They always spell himself out with Blade Fury, so there's very, very little risk to do so. And very important that he does that as well. Again, there's very little option in this trial lane. If they don't get too many kills, if they don't get the tower push, you are just going to be losing to the heroes that can be pulling. So stealing creeps like this is a big plus for your team. Arzar being left by himself, he's got to be careful as well, because the Radiant tri-lane does have the killing potential. Illuminate, Gush, all the right clicks. They're not going to get the kill, but look at the harassing ability. Immediate salve being used, and they could be doing that a couple more times. They have on a regeneration.
Again, the range on this tri-lane, they don't really have to charge in to engage, and because they have a Keeper of the Light, Chakra Magic is going to be so helpful for allowing them to spam those abilities, fueling the mana of anybody in this tri-lane who needs it. That means constant long-range harassment. Na'Vi, they need to get in close to do the damage. With the Impale to start, the Edict, the Split Earth to follow, and of course the Blade Fury on top of it. Boots and Rina Basilius picked up. Rina Basilius deactivated for the moment. Na'Vi wants to pull the lane back. They don't want to let IG really have the opportunity to harass them too much safely under their own tower. And now Arsart and Puppey going to go check the rune. Again, they can't really leave the Juggernaut alone, but with the boots picked up, this might allow him to close the gap. The Zoe of boots he does, but the other two supports, Chuan and Faith, keep an eye on their positioning. So far, they've been pristine, very far back, very difficult to close.
See yet another pull from Faith to make sure he does hit level 3. So important for him to do so because right now Chakra Magic, sure it heals mana, but just not enough to really even make it worthy to cast it. But getting a level 3 will make it a lot more effective as a spell, and he will be spamming it a lot more. Back on the mid lane, just passively farming. Both players looking for the runes. Dendi has it, and he's harassing the hell out of Ferrari.
This top lane, both players are getting a ton of farm. Light of Heaven, the Bear, pretty good for tanking that Ion Shell creep, keeping the creep off of the tower as much as possible. Tower taking a little bit of damage, but not overwhelming amount by any means. And Light of Heaven is getting a ton of farm. And we saw a really well-farmed Lone Druid can be a total game breaker. Faith, Illuminate, no. The creep jacked by Puppey, actually the splitter from Arsart, and that killing that Centaur is a big deal.
Yep.
Level 3 on Puppey, 3 on Leshrac, being played by Arsart and Havos. All of them are 3. And the tri-lane from IG, they're pulling, but Chuan and Faith are just not able to contest the pull. So I feel it's working out okay for Na'Vi.
Yeah, this is a defensive tri-lane that's getting out-leveled. You never see anything like this. Again, it goes back to those 2 big camps being stolen by Juggernaut as well as his teammates. It's huge when your Keeper Light does not hit 3, and the enemies does. And at this point here, with level 2 stuns, even Naga could be in a little bit of trouble. Spike Carapace gets stunned, and Faith receives a bit of damage back.
And this is something we could see a lot more of.
Yes.
You can see Illuminate being up, so it's very easy to hit that Spike Carapace right as it's coming in. You don't take any damage, you reflect it all back, and once it's leveled up, it will be stunning for a long duration. It's pretty powerful if the timing is there. And this is a hero I feel it will be much stronger in the LAN environment where we're on now, where there's no delay, because you really want to have quick reactions. It's a race for the top rune. Ferrari and Dendi both chasing it. They both want it.
Oh,
This
do
is
you
going
want to be next to
close.
the cliffs? Oh, nice melt here. Oh, DD! Rubik grabs that one, and angrily Ferrari. Meanwhile, Dendi will toss him back with a double damage, trying to get some damage. He's going to chase up on the hill, balling up as he go, and it's going to just coming down to harass, but he did some big damage. And stealing that rune was huge.
Already being level 6 is also very important. That means he can stolen refraction. He's going to have access to it for the
Oh,
next
bot
couple
lane
minutes.
though, as we do again see more creep jack. I mean, Juggernaut, it's from, oh, meanwhile though, they're going to go run. He doesn't have the magic immunity anymore. Wards gets dropped down. It gets canceled. Huge Illuminate damage, but it's going to be Zoe going down to the first blood. Anchor smash. It's going to be a TP. Arzar solo. He's going to survive. Oh, it's going to be the slow on Havos. Ah, 2-man smurf, but it's not going to be enough. Arzar still on the run. Is he going to buy a TP to make it out?
It looks like he is. He will escape. Great escape from Arsart, so they get first blood. They trade evenly. Overall, a win for Na'Vi. And most importantly, I feel they force a TP out of the TA, which means free farm for Dendi. Dendi off to a pretty strong start, winning that middle lane 29-20, and this is going to accelerate his advantage by a decent.
Well, top lane here is still neck and neck. Light of Heaven leading by 6 creep kill, but that's just it. Now, trading a farm could be good for both players here. Quick mech or pipe on the Darkseer is huge, but you don't want Light of Heaven to be 2 farms, so it's interesting quandary for both teams.
Yeah, for the moment, it is going to be YYF putting some Ion Shells and creeps, trying to push the lane and get, and really just, that's the nice thing about putting Lone Druid up here is Darkseer is constantly pushing lane, but Lone Druid can farm it pretty easily, and it's a hero that wants to sit in lane, so it's okay to leave him here. They're both getting farm. Darkseer will be able to contribute a little bit earlier if there's a team fight that breaks out. YYF already level 8. If he TPs in and drops a big vacuum, catching multiple heroes, that can ruin a tri-lane. Tidehunter, only level 4. If he can get Ravage up, IG, they're going to have this big this window of opportunity where Vacuum's getting some levels, where Darkseer's quite fat, where the Naga Sleep is online, the Ravage is there. That's going to be their moment to strike while the iron is hot. It's not there yet, but if you're IG, there's the Blade Fury. Havos doing some harassment, not going for the kill, but just zoning him off of the lane. And it's a game for Zoe where he's not farming. And we don't.
Juan's coming right back to net use a gush, but here comes a Bell Puppey going right at the nuke damage, but the ward's healing so much. Diabolic Edict being cast, worse up Splitter. AA, he's going for it. Where is it? He's still looking. It's not gonna hit. At this point, Illuminate being charged. That one's gonna miss. Havosa solo. He spins. He's going for the kill, but he's gotta be careful. Net and the right click. Havosa's gonna be going down.
Oh, a bit of an overextension there. Havos could have chosen to just walk away, but he tries to get aggressive. Middle lane, it's Dendi throwing Ferrari back with the illusion rune, really limiting the effectiveness of that refraction. Hasn't stolen the spell at the moment, but could do so. He will steal again. Ooh. This time it's the traps. Those are nice. I feel he'd rather have the refraction in the lane, but the traps will really help if he wants to gank. Between telekinesis and traps, you're not running from this route.
Don't forget it provides so much sight down the river should he wants to spot a couple of runes. So I think in terms of direct engagement, it does have a little bit less use in terms of refraction.
Right.
But in terms of just giving you sight and all the utility of it, it's not too bad.
And sentry wards for Dendi as well. He really wants to control this middle lane. It seems for Navi that's the goal. The lone druid and the Rubik. Oh, middle lane, net onto Dendi. The puppy with the quick counter gank. Always prepared. There's your spike carapace. And Ferrari pulled back in. Are they really going to fight this? They are. Ferrari taking some good damage. Remember, there is a sentry ward there. He cannot meld, but in the end, he will survive.
There's just so many traps down. You don't really know who's on whose. I think that those are mostly Dendi. But yeah, still on the mid lane. A 10-minute rune will be coming back very soon. But back in the jungle, Faith is Edict up. He's trying to juke, but there's no juking the Edict. He's going to be going down. Zoe comes in, really wants to find Arzar. There's a Gush. Gotta kill that ward. Gotta kill that ward. Ward finally gets destroyed. Ward's a Splurf. Still cooling down a couple seconds. Havos warding him away. Another Navi kill. Just a lot of action, but just one at a time, one kill at a time. Not too much gold as well as experience difference. Very, very even game so far.
Dead even game right now. Ferrari on the bottom lane, impaled the net. Puppy held in place. Meld, big damage. He will take a fall, but in comes Dendi. Telekinesis, stunning Zoe, jacking the rune, going in Fizz. And here's Havos. He wants some damage. He wants to get a kill. Naga Sleep does not affect that Juggernaut. Then he comes out of Blade Fury. It does wear off, and Zoe should escape. But forcing out a defensive Naga Sleep, that's pretty good.
Oh
Dendi wants to steal something. The traps. No, maybe he just wants to kill. Zapped.
Big zap and the Omni GG slash. Ruby just burning refraction charges. Ferrari fighting for his life. Ours are still waiting. Here comes Faith. He's on his horse, but the slow traps, they're making it so useful. Illuminate brings Havos down to very low HP, has mana for one spell. He's turning it around. He wants to go for Faith. Arzar comes right back in. Mech up here. Oh, the quick mech, and it turns around again here. Arzar solo. One more right click. One more right click. Magic wand up. Still alive. The turnaround. It's done. He's alive. How is he alive? Surge up here. A little bit blocking the TP out. Is he going to make it? He's going to make it. What a play. What a play. Everybody on Navi makes it out.
Well, in fact, in the end, Dendi did take a fall. That was the bigger kill, I feel. You do end up letting the Leshrac TP out, but this is a support off lane, tri lane Leshrac. Dendi, the solo mid. Although he dies, he does have a Staff of Wizardry, doing pretty well. YYF with the early mech, you can see the power of that, but you can also see the downside. He leaves that top lane, Light of Heaven, pushes it in quickly, getting close to a relic, and he's not rushing. He's got phase boots up, Marine of Regen on the hero, the bear only stout shield, so not the biggest investment in those early game items, those cheap cost effective items, but the relic is coming soon, and I really don't see how they're going to kill him right now. The TA is not that bad. Middle lane, Ferrari in a bit of trouble. There's your Blade Fury, and it looks like he is going to go down. The Edict, refraction does nothing, and he takes a fall.
Wow, that's going to slow down him so much. Ferrari's trying to help out his team by ganks, but he's dying too much. He's not going to have a quick blink, and when we saw in game 2, once that blink is slowed down, it just does basically nothing. It just does not help. Do you actually want to blink in against Lone Druid and start a right-click war? It's not favorable to TA.
And if Lone Druid gets big enough, TA is not going to be effective, because that Radiance burn, once he has the Radiance up, it will remove refraction charges quickly. Oh, Arzar taking some big damage. The Edict is up. Dendi is here, and maybe that's going to be enough to drive YYF back, vacuum in. Iron Shell, Telekinesis back. Where's that Split Earth? It's available, but he's just running. He's booking out of there. Now they turn to Dendi, and Dendi died. This is not a good trade for Arzar's living, and they will get the kill. That's momentum that Ferrari desperately needs. Chuan, he's level 6, and Ravage could be a tie turner here.
Good there. Right now, IG, they're so close with the Navi squad, but it has to be said, right now the entire Navi is flying 5v4. Light of Heaven has not participated in any single team fight, although he has to teleport. So, and even so, right, Navi's right in this game, and once Lone Druid joins a team fight with Radiant, it's going to be a big change.
It's a dead even game, but I think for Navi, because the Lone Druid is absolutely massive, and they're getting some farm onto Rubik, they have a lot of high impact mid game heroes. They're also in the Dire. They have a good team to go Roshan. I think they're not in a bad spot right now. And in fact, I'd say they might even, considering the tri-lane, how difficult it is to find kills, they found a few. I think they're doing quite well.
Look at the big ganks that is coming up on the top lane. They realize that we cannot let Light of Heaven get too big.
This is a big time to kill them
They
off.
come
if
up,
they
but
can.
they don't go for it. Instead, they'll skirt mid lane. If they kill Dendi once again, that will delay the Force Staff by a big number of time. Here we go. Dendi is the prize here. And the trap, it will slow him down. The Gush, the vacuum backwards here. The Mel Strike, big damage, but 3-man impale. And now the the Ravage gets used. That's a free kill immediately. Puppey just have to back off. Again, killing Dendi so important. You deny his mobility. You deny further survivability so that Ravage, Solemn Siren, or whatever spell won't get stolen. And now IG looking towards to take that tower number 1.
Again, if you gank Dendi, you're ignoring Light of Heaven. He's been left unchecked in the top lane. Yes, he is the much harder kill, but he's also the hero that's going to do more in the long run if you leave him unchecked. Chuan did anchor smash after that Ravage, so no, Dendi will not be stealing it this time. He's going to have to wait for the next cooldown. But Chuan was very careful there to make sure he catches Dendi right away before he kill it. The tower taking a bunch of damage. Ferrari, level 9. The Blink Dagger is going to be definitely delayed compared to what we've seen in the past. If he wants to go for it, I'm not even sure if he would at this point. There's a lot of heroes to really chew through the refraction. If you blink in to a Blade Fury, to an Edict, even to the Bear Radiance Burn, you're just going to die very quickly. Havos netted on the bottom lane. Blade Furies doesn't really care. Going to be farming. Not afraid of this Naga Siren. There's your song. Havos in a bit of a pickle. This is not a good place for him. The song released, ended. Anchor smash, TP out. No escape for Havos. He takes a fall. Chuan being very effective with this roaming in this game.
Good recognition by Zoe that there's no enough mana for Omni Slash, and once you lose the magical immunity, you are actually dead meat to the Naga Siren. But here comes a push being led by Puppey, but the defense will be coming in, spell being stolen by Dendi. That is going to be Chakra Magic. Very, very good spell. If you can spam it, Puppey, he's low, the trap, the net on Dendi, vacuum back on 2, and now Na'Vi, both of them will be dead. 9-4 in favor of IG. Tier 1 tower will be recommenced on the siege. And Na'Vi, you got to keep in mind, they're on the ropes. If they lose this game, they're going home.
This game, there's $750,000 at stake if IG win it. If they win it, then Na'Vi, they go home. They still win a good chunk of change, to put it mildly, but it's not the same as taking that first place. The defending champs in a bad spot here, but not out of it yet. Great defensive team. They do have a relic on their lone druid. The Radiance is coming soon. It's not going to be that 14-minute relic that 14-minute Radiance that we've seen in the past, but it's still going to be very fast, and it's coming with phase boots. It's coming with a lot of levels, a lot of free farm. Although IG is finding kills, they're not completely controlling the map. Na'Vi is keeping wards up. Pretty decent map control for them, I have to say. And with the Radiance, with a lot of heroes that have good anti-push, IG, they want to tower dive, they want to fight aggressively. This is a level 6 kind of team. Ideally, you want to hit 11 for the Darkseer, but this is a team that gets very strong with Ravage up, as well as the Salt of the Siren. They're ahead, but are they ahead enough right now?
I really don't think so. I'm glad you brought up the phase boot. He could join the fight immediately if his team needs him to do so. And if he doesn't, well, he could just farm a little bit more. Right now, IG is leading, but there's just one tower being taken. I think IG is not claiming enough towers to really call this a big advantage. Once Lone Druid join the fight, he's going to change the tide. And here we go, another big smoking from IG. Can't really make up their mind right now in terms of where to go, but the Templar Assassin with the blink, as soon as they see the Lone Druid,
he's
Lone
50
Druid
gold away from this Radiance.
Oh my God.
This will be such a bad time to die. They're not going to find him, though. In fact, it's bottom lane, where Zoe is pressuring the tower. He last hits it, not able to be denied by Puppey, and Zoe gets away scot-free.
Right now, there's just a big war of patience. The smoke runs out. Light FM says, all right, I'm going to just go home. You can have this tier 1 tower. My Radiance is just that more important. Or will they? Couple of TP coming in. This is a very, very slow trap being laid by Na'Vi. Let's see what they can make of it. Still no Force Staff from Dendi. You can see the ganks earlier just means so much. The big illusion that will be bring down. But tower, yeah, tower's going to be gone. And I think with the tower down, IG will back off. They still have the Ravage, and it looks like they want a little bit more, but they won't find anybody.
You know, how do you actually engage this IG lineup right now? Dendi doesn't have a Force Staff. If he can somehow steal Ravage, he's still so squishy that they probably can kill him before he can counter-initiate. Dendi's got to have
Maybe
great
you
position
start with
here.
Vendetta from Puppey, slowly
This could be
creeping
big.
in.
This could be big.
Slowly creeping in. He sees YYF, initiation on YYF, telekinesis. Where's the Ravage? Toss back the roots, but the blink in, the Ravage, anchor smashing melee, nothing to spell. Dendi's done, Puppey's done, 2 dead. The net, Omni GG slash, no, YYF's still alive. He's trying to spin his way out right now, and Havos on the ropes. He's gonna be fine. and that's going to be 2-0.
Oh,
Again,
here
you're
comes
right.
That bear. Here comes that bear. The trap. Light of Heaven in a horrible spot. Will he be able to get away? He will not. What a kill. Light of Heaven. They put so many eggs into that basket, and he's so easy to bring down. And with those kills, with this control, they can continue the push. They didn't even use the sleep there.
They didn't have to use a sleep, the blink in for Ferrari to initiate. And the surge, I mean, they initiate on YYF, but he's very, very tanky. He's got Hood and a mech being finished. And now IG, they sense that they can take a big advantage in the game. Tier 2 is going to get destroyed. There was no goal lead early on. Now it's hitting 5,000-6,000 goal lead. IG is looking real strong. That means more items for Faith and as well as his entire team. If YYF finishes Pipe right now, that's scary.
It's a pipe, a mech, and just so much initiation power, so much frontline tanking power between the Templar Assassin, the Naga Siren, who is an ultimate or power trades, 1400 HP already. Of course, the Darkseid Tide, very tanky in their own right. So many heroes that can just dive into the fight, and the big damage dealers, the Templar Assassin and the Keeper of the Light, surprisingly deals a lot of damage. They can burst everyone down, and I think we're seeing the weakness of Rubik and IG really understanding how to deal with the hero. We saw they didn't play the matchup properly. They were very frustrated after that game 2 in the winners bracket semifinals. But Chuan's patience in that fight, he didn't Ravage right away. He made sure to catch Dendi before he actually engaged. Everybody's grouped up bottom. This is going to be a big fight.
Smart sentry ward placement. There will be no surprising backward slide of Heaven net on him right now. Oh, nice bounce back here. Blinding light. Light of Heaven is taking so much damage. He will back off right now. Not the best wall usage, but still. Whoa. Bear.
Oh,
get it back. Get it back.
Got to be careful here. Where's the net? They're not actually going to choose to focus the bear. Keeping the net available. There's the net. The healing ward. Trying to keep it alive. Gosh, the minus armor. And the bear just melts.
Man, that big resummon. Now, of course, Na'Vi won't be fighting for quite a long time. Small incremental advantage being claimed by IG. They would want to claim a bit more. That tier 2. Next.
Gonna be next, and now you're trying to defend against a death ball. This really is a death ball, but between the Tidehunter as well as that Naga Siren Sleep, plus the backing. Sure, there's no wall, but they have so much else beyond it. It all really comes down to Dendi to fight off this push, or maybe Puppey to set things up with the Vendetta. Here he goes to set it up, the TP counter initiation. Illuminate doing so much work. He wants the tower tonight. He doesn't actually get it off, and I think it's for the best he didn't, because he would have died for sure if he did.
Naga Siren teleports back in the mid lane. We'll look for a sleep.
Arsart
could have got the range off, but ultimately did not want to use an ult just for a support kill. Faith is coming on the mid lane. You talked about the damage that Faith can do. At max level, Illuminate, it's an AoE Finger of Death, 500 damage. It's insane to nuke down Grid Wave, but now they're using it offensively to push, constantly making sure that YYF as well as Ferrari has enough mana. For Zoe as well, they see it teleport in, and immediately initiation. They want Juggernaut, telekinesis up, the Mel hits. Look at how much damage. Nice blinding light, slowing down Omni Slash, dodging it, but no, he's gonna go down. Havos is just not tanking enough. And this now is on retreat. Ferrari taking damage. Oh, the sleep comes in. And the setup. The Ravage is available. Do they want to go? No, they're going to back off for now. No, yes, no. Zoe says, oh, don't leave me, guys. Oh, miscommunication from IG. And this could be the opening that Na'Vi's waiting for. YYF's going to go down as well. That's 2. Dendi's looking for more. Still no 4-staff finish. That's going to be it. Look at how delayed Dendi's 4-staff is. He generally have 4-staff and perhaps even a blink right now. And arcane boots. He just has that force.
I'm shocked they didn't fight that. Chuan is a Blink Dagger and Ravage. They caught out the Rubik. Everybody was grouped up. I feel IG had an easy team wipe there. Perhaps it's still the shadow of the memory of the game that happened, game number 2 in that winter bracket semifinals. We keep on referring to it. Maybe they're just afraid of some magic happening, but they really could have taken that fight. They not only lose 2, they use a lot of their spells, and that means Na'Vi feels very confident. They're going to go into the pit. Ferrari, trap placed down, Illuminate splashes in, Zoe charges in, immediate entangle. They're going to maybe look to fight this. Blake in, Ravage on everyone. Dendi, no stealing the Ravage this time for him. Illuminate again. Puppey dropping low. Havos kills off Zoe, and Ferrari fights on.
Blinding lights pushing everybody back. Ferrari, look at his damage. It's dropping so quick. Havos now wants to chase. YYF backing off. He was in the middle team fight to drop his pipe or mech. That was a huge blunder from IG. and that's allowing Na'Vi to stay alive for now. But the trap gets exploded in the mid lane. He bought back. He wants more. That's 1 kill. Backing backwards. It's the bear right now. They're not going to get any more hero kills, but they will get this tier 2, and that will be the last tower for Na'Vi. There's very, very little structures left for Na'Vi, and if they lose any more...
It's a Yasha for Ferrari. Really wants that extra chasing power, not opting for the minus armor, the burst damage, the pushing power of the Desolator. Havost lurking on the high ground. But Havost doesn't really have many items. There's no battle fear in this Juggernaut. He's not really farming quickly. He comes in. Dendi wants to fight. Trap on Havost. YYF, not sure you want to focus this one. He's so damn tanky. There's the Impale. Puppey running back. Healing Ward gets dropped. Vacuum in on everyone. Illuminate splashes through. There's your burst damage. And are they going to fight or are they going to run? Nobody can make up their mind. Puppey taking a lot of damage. Ferrari in the front lines. Telekinesis. And it looks like Zoe will be the first one to fall. Arsar gets 1. Arsar wants 2. He gets 2. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Ferrari falls.
How are they winning these fights? They're down so much XP, they're down so much gold, but somehow they find a way, and Roshan will be attempted. You gotta keep in mind that buyback was used on Ferrari. I do believe Naga also bought back earlier, and right now, the gold chart, it means nothing. The EXP chart, it means nothing, because Na'Vi is getting the Aegis, and they're making a comeback right now.
Uh-oh. Arsar, this is not your base. Probably don't want to be here, or maybe you do. He's level 11. He is going to be stalling here. Nice job by him securing that Roshan. Aegis on the Light of Heaven. That is a massive swing for Na'Vi.
Wow, they just pulled a rabbit out of their hat right now, but they got to put a couple more because right now the gold and EXP chart, they don't lie. IG is still ahead, but perhaps a little bit shaken up. They're not as strong as they believe they can be. Like Keeper of Light, I mean, it's one of those tiers that doesn't scale very well into late game. Blinding Light's great, but Illuminate, Chakra Magic, these are not the spells you want to have 40 minutes in the game. We are actually approaching that fairly soon, so IG got to set somebody up. Naga Siren, he's got no farm, right? So at this point, what do you do as IG? The AoE Wombo combo not being perfectly set up, perhaps miscommunication. They want that last tier too. I think Na'Vi will be defending it too with their lives.
And the tower's low. There is no glyph, but it's cooling down soon. And they had so much trouble in the last fight, and now there's an Aegis up. So even if you kill... Aegis is one of the best ways to deal with a team that relies on their ultimates to win fights. Those long cooldown ultimates. When they're down, if you have Aegis, you just come back to life and you get to fight fresh.
There you go, a smoke being perhaps right under a Sentry Ward. Let's see how does the Radiant team backing off for now. I just love the pickup here on Vlad's, by the way. A lot of Lone Druids, once they pick up the Radiance, they go straight into Assault Chris because they get a lot of farm. But right now, they need every little bit of item they could get, and Vlad's is one of the best way to do so. Gives armor to your entire team, which is completely relevant to Naga's Riptide, as well as, you know, the melee damage. So a very, very smart pickup here on Light of Heaven, adjusting to the game.
Yeah, the armor will be very helpful against A, as well as the other minus armor that the team brings to bear. So I like the Vlad's pickup. It's also a cheap item that helps you now. And because IG is building these aggressive items that go for mid-game timings, getting something that helps you now is better than trying to farm something big like the Assault Caress. It's a perfect pickup for the situation. Na'Vi showing so much poise for the amount of money that's on the line right here. They're still at a bit of a disadvantage, but it's a very slight one. And it feels like all the momentum is really going their way. And sometimes that really tells the tale much more than the gold grab, the experience graph, or even map control.
Yeah, at this point in the game, we are just gotta look at the supports and how do they provide assistance to their team. I just talked about Keeper of Light and how that he won't do too much. TIE Hunter will be extremely effective until the enemy team starts to pick up some BKB. We know what Darkseer can do. Should he pop the milk, should he pop the pipe, it will be basically the best support you could ever ask for. On the Dire side, I'm not sure how much Nyx Assassin is gonna do. I mean, sure, there's some cute scenes by Carapace, but unless he's redirecting like a big Illuminate or unless he's redirecting a Melted, for the most part, he's sitting there looking pretty and not doing too much.
On paper, he's a great way to deal with the big team fight ultimates, the AoE, because you're almost guaranteed to get that Spike Carapace to proc and do some deep damage. But there's a lot of follow-up spells. It's only going to block that first damage instance, not all of them. So I think at this point he is very much a utility hero. But perhaps that's enough for Na'Vi, just giving them an extra stun, giving them some initiation potential with that invisibility. And for the moment, IG, they do have a gem up on Faith, but Faith is very squishy. Could be brought down. And I feel this is more for map control than actually spotting out the Nyx Assassin. Tower is denied mid. Na'Vi don't really need this tower for the next, for the next 5 to 8 minutes. In fact, it's more like 7 to 8 minutes. Roshan's not going to be up for a while. But they do lose another outer tower. They're now out of those outer towers, so it's going to be harder to fight. And if they get caught out, they can't run away as easily.
Now, one thing for Na'Vi fans to watch out for is the comeback mechanic about towers. If you're not dying right about now, you see all these 5 exterior towers on the IG side, that's free gold sitting there. Should you win a team fight, you're right back in the game because you're claiming at least 1 or even 2. You could aggressively push for it like what Na'Vi's doing right now. And it's a bow play. This tower is quite low. They could get it mostly for free. Illuminate getting casted. And here we go. Seems like a full defense from IG is going to be channeled. Na'Vi backs off.
Na'Vi backs off, and the pressure comes in. IG giving Na'Vi a taste of the the medicine we saw from Na'Vi in game number 3, even though they went on to lose that game. The split push, the stalling right now. It's not that they can't necessarily take a fight, but they're happy to go for trades. They're happy to try and control the map and pressure Na'Vi. Na'Vi grouped up bottom, looking to push here. Ion Shell onto the creeps, YY up vacuum in on everyone. Just harassment. And the anti-push of this team. Illuminate is so underrated in that respect.
Again, 500 AoE AoE Finger of Death if you want to look at it like that. It's just completely insane. And he will have the mana to do it until the light comes down in Banner Royal Hall. Home of the Seattle Symphony, I have to add, because of Chakra Magic. He could do this until Na'Vi wants to back off. And you do see, like, they just realize there's no way you could push through Illuminates.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's also they have to back because top's pushing. Zo is farming the jungle. We saw Zo stay on Ultimate Power Treads, Bottle, Magic Wand, these basic items for a while. But he's now added 3,300 gold into the bag. What do you go for here? We've seen Linken's a lot in the past. I'm not sure if that's the choice you want to go for. There's just so many single target abilities that will remove that Linken's. And it's kind of, as well as the Entangle the first time it procs, it will proc the Linken's here. So I'm not sure that's what he's going for. Maybe it'll be a Manta style.
Yeah, I think I like the Manta style a little bit more. Linken's Sphere is not bad. Don't get me wrong here. It will block the telekinesis. It will block the spell steal. You don't want them to steal your sleep.
Right.
But for the most part, as I say that, of course, right? Linken's Sphere is bad, but here comes Linken's Sphere. So, well, we are all learning here.
It's not
bad.
The reason that we see players go for Linken's Sphere is because they want to make sure they have a very good chance of getting the ultimate off. It makes sense. It's just an item. You get it to help deal with certain spells. But if the enemy is really coordinated and they're really good about casting multiple single target spells quickly, you can be brought down even with this Linken's Sphere. So it's not guaranteed that it'll get his ult off. It just improves his chances.
Yeah, furthermore, it doesn't provide you too much. Illusions don't get too much stronger. The mana regeneration, also HP, again, not too important. At this point, you can see that Na'Vi doing the same thing that what a lot of Chinese teams do. As your carry is farming it up, the 4 supports try to go set up some ganks. We have not talked about Havos too much. He's kind of the forgotten man here. A lot of attention paid on Lone Druid. How is he going to scale into the late?
I mean, really at this point, Havos is not going to bring too... I feel this hero doesn't offer too much aside from the Healing Ward. The Healing Ward is very potent. Blade Fury really doesn't do much later on, especially against the pipe and a mech. The Omni Slash can do big damage, but you need items to do so. What he is a kind of a frontline tank, someone who can soak up damage, provide some utility towards the team, but it really is going to be up to the Lone Druid, Light of Heaven, with the Hyperstone now picked up to do the dirty work, to do the big damage in these fights. Havos, he's providing utility, but he's not providing damage. He's not going to carry the team. It's not that he necessarily needs to, but he's definitely not going to do it.
Yeah, if you notice that it's been a while, Lone Druid has been putting a lot of his item, in fact, most of his important item, onto his hero. Now going to go right back to his bear. Just making sure that if your bear dies right now, you don't lose basically 7,000 worth of gold.
Right.
He's switching around, and here we go. Vacuum backwards. YY gets stunned by the spike air bits. Again, there's no way that you're going to push against this. Last time, IG had a tough time pushing into Na'Vi, and the same story, but just on the opposite end.
It's an incredible gold and experience lead for IG, considering they lost such a big team fight around Roshan. But what they're doing right now is they're split pushing, and they're turtling incredibly well. It's one of these things where it might not be exciting to watch, it might not be something you expect to see. But Na'Vi's been spending a lot of time roaming as 4 and 5, and they kind of have to do it because they're up against such a big team fight, they're up against so much initiation, and perhaps most importantly, because they don't have the safety net of the towers to fall back to.
Flies in for Ferrari. I think both teams just waiting for the critical mass of items. 1,000 gold almost up on Zo. Again, no kind of guess what item it will be next. With Naga Siren, you just have so much option. It could be a Purge Blade, it can be, shout out to Purge, it can be a Manta style. There's so many options, and to be honest, most of them will be pretty good here.
Yeah, I think they would. Zo, 2,100 gold up on him. They just continue to accumulate farm. Both teams, like you mentioned, are trying to get up the next level of items, but it's just IG getting more items at this point. The Darkseer, he's had Pipe and Mech for a long time. Now there's a Plate Mail. Now there's 1,700 gold. Faith, Vitality Booster picked up, 1,700 gold on him. Chuan, he's had a Ghost Scepter, now 1,000 gold on him. They're all getting very fat. Ferrari's completed the Manta style. If you want to go towards a more of a late game TA, Manta style is a great start. This item is always going to be great early on and very effective later on. It's a great way to remove the Entangle from the Lone Druid. It provides you a bit of an opportunity to dodge some spells if you're really timely with it. And just generally, if you want to go for more of a hard carry style, this is a great choice. So it's a nice pickup for Ferrari. Overall, IG, they're getting more items than Na'Vi. And Na'Vi seem to be feeling like they have a timer here. They want to force a fight while the Aegis is up. Gem on the Bear in the front lines. And it looks like IG will let the tower fall. Na'Vi do claim it, but man, they had to work for that one.
Straight up backdoor, no big deal. And they're going to just force out a Glyph too, which is pretty big. They really want to knock down this tower. And once you do, you can see they're backing up right now, perhaps trying to set up a smoke, because with the mid tower going down, you have so much easier path ganking into the Radiant jungle, which you expect the Radiant team is farming in. For now, they were backing off, making sure they clear out their own jungle. It is all about efficient jungling right now. Pull whenever you can, make sure you don't block your camp, because every bit of jungling is providing so much precious gold.
And look at the creep equilibrium. It's just generally so far towards the Na'Vi side. There always seems to be a lane in this area on the bottom lane, up near the racks, up in the top lane in the same position. And it's just the Naga Siren with her illusions. You cast Riptide, the illusions will use that, apply that damage towards the creeps. Templar Assassin, very underrated as a pushing hero, having the splash damage from Psyblaze, and this could be huge. IG is smoked up, but Na'Vi is camping in their base, so I'm not sure they're going to catch anyone out here.
Na'Vi knows them. Charizard. Hopefully the Ghost Scepter use won't mean a little bit too much, but they're going to smoke into the Roshan pit. What will Na'Vi do about this? Can they do anything about this?
It does need to be pointed out, although Na'Vi is...
Here they come.
Here they come indeed. Oh, Havos
The
leading
Roshan is about to 4,000 HP. Havos, he could run in, he could spin, he could use his GG slash. For now, Roshan so low. They're going to just sleep for the Roche kill. There's no way around this. And they're going to initiate off of this vacuum. They just find one Omni Slash being used immediately. Some small damage being done, but that's a free Aegis. The net not going to be cast for now, but the net will be cast on Puppey. Oh! They ate Puppey alive!
Puppey caught out of
That sounded
position.
pretty wrong, actually.
Arsar trying to TP out. Where's the damage? Where's the net? He does get away. Barely, I must add. And do they go high ground now with this Aegis?
They can. I think they should, but they do it. They don't have the Naga sleep. High Ravage is still up.
$750,000 on the line. Maybe you wait.
Just try, man.
Yeah. Go for it, no big deal. IG, we've seen them have a lead before and throw it away in this tournament multiple times, so they really have to be careful. They're in a great position right now. They have the great initiation, the great team fight combo, but Na'Vi have heroes that can really punish you if you overextend. Great chasing heroes. The drums will be helping out quite a bit. Haste Room picked up on Chuan. And one thing I wanted to say right before that engagement at Roshan broke out is, although IG has the gold advantage, although overall they're getting more out of this time, they're being more efficient, Dendi has a Force Staff and a Blink Dagger. It's going to be hard to find the openings, but we could see him stealing multiple spells in these team fights, whether it's Vacuum, whether it's Ravage, or the Naga Sleep. I mean, with these items, you have that mobility you need to.
Again, like you mentioned, it's going to be hard for a steal in all of these team fights. Hunter blinks right next to Dendi and make sure his Ravage hits. Unless Dendi has superhuman reflex, which apparently he does, you got to blink away from the Ravage and steal it right back, because it's going to be so difficult when you are the prime target every single time.
Yeah, Na'Vi going to be playing one pretty defensively. You can see that they're really not leaving their side of the map. The one time they did so was to push down the tier 1 mid, but even then, it's barely past that point. They got a tier 1 top so early, and since then, they just haven't found the room to push. They pick Juggernaut to push. They don't play him as a hard carry. Sure, it's Havos playing it. He normally handles that one position for Na'Vi. But in this case, he's going for the cheap, cost-effective item. They really like what the Healing Ward can bring to the table. They ran the offensive tri-lane. They didn't get too many kills. Nothing has really been quite going the way that Na'Vi wants it to this game. But they're still not out of it. They still haven't lost racks, and they just continue to hang on, persevere, find a way wherever they can. I got to say, the one disappointment for me so far this game is that I really wanted to see Nyx Assassin have more of an impact, and so far I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, he tried to use his Vendetta as a scouting tool and perhaps even initiation tool, but IG just too smart for it. They drop down the Sentry Ward and they're not going to get surprised for it. And again, they can't really push aside from that cheeky backdoor back in the mid lane because Illuminate is constantly waiting for it. So it's up to Na'Vi to kind of outmaneuver and outposition their enemy team. And this is exactly what we're talking about. You got to pick off something, perhaps not the Courier, although, it's 175 times 5.
I don't think you want this
They get the Courier. Of
Okay.
course you want the Couriers. But the smoke gank's done, so they all have to back off. Vendetta's going to be used.
Nothing on the Courier, just a magic wall.
Dire's
Not actually going to
bottom
slow down a
tower
big
is under
item.
attack.
It is some gold towards them. They are forced back. But I feel they need to find multiple kills to get some towers. I mean, the gold is nice, but still, slowly but surely, it is IG out farming them. They have just the next level of items. The Diffuse Blade picked up on the Naga. And here we go, middle lane. IG want to make something happen. Is it time for them to push? They have a Shivas on YYF. This is getting close to that point where you just don't need any more items on your Darkseer. Chuan is working towards a Refresher Orb. If they want to farm, there are more items they could acquire, but do they need them?
I don't think they do. But again, more difficult to go into the high ground because you don't want to lose a team fight right now. A lot of money is on the line. That's one thing. But these towers, I mentioned earlier, they are comeback mechanics for Na'Vi. It's just sitting there, free piles of gold. If you lose a team fight, they will just come right your towers, and they'll be right back in the game. The goal lead that you see right here, it can diminish very, very quickly.
Yeah, normally the towers defend you, but they can be turned against you, giving away that gold to the enemy team. Multiple TPs in bottom. IG, they recognize the importance of these towers. They're not going to give them up without a fight. Ion Shell and YYF, maybe going to look to kill off the creeps. No, staying far back. Defensive posture, and boy, do they need one, because here comes Puppey leading the charge for his squad. Vendetta initiation, that's what he wants. But it doesn't look like he's going to find it. IG is playing so solid right now.
Yeah, they're going to stay in the tower range. He's going to run right in. The Blink, Dendi. Blink Ravage though. Anchor Smash immediately. Dendi will have nothing to spell. And now the Shiva gets popped. Omni Slash. Where's the right click coming to? Nobody's focusing on anybody else. But now Arzard, he's going to be the first one to fall. TP out from Light of Heaven. Navi's got to retreat. How many will they lose? And I think he's going to lose one more. No TP on Havos. And he's going to pay the heavy price. IG takes up 3 free kills. Sure, the tower has went down, but that's just a small price to pay. Now IG will storm down the bot lane, perhaps try to go for that Rax.
When Na'Vi beat IG at game 2, they stole Ravage multiple. They
Yes,
stole Ravage.
there has been 0
There's been
Ravage stealing.
Chuan really deserves a lot of credit for his timing, but it's not like he's just holding Ravage and never using it. He is using it, but he's always catching Dendi. He's immediately anchor smashing, and you can have Force Staff and Blink Dagger, but you can't steal Ravage unless you're able to cast that ultimate, and he's not able to do so at the right time.
There you go, slow siege from IG. They know how to run this one, but they see the lone drip back, so they'll back off. Na'Vi stays alive right now, but just barely.
IG, just the patience from this. I mean, how many teams would just, we have an advantage, let's charge up the high ground. With this much money on the line, maybe not, but it's so easy when you're getting ahead to get confident. We saw Chuan jumping up and down with excitement every time they win a fight. He jumps out of his seat. But they're being very patient, and that's really what you need to do at this point, because Na'Vi is waiting for a mistake. They might try and force one, but mostly they're just waiting for you to make one, because that's the position they're in this game. That's what they have to wait for. Light of Heaven has picked up a Ghost Scepter on his hero. Assault Caress complete on the bear. He is quite big, but I still feel IG has the lockdown to deal with him.
Here you go. Na'Vi will be trying to set something up on the bot lane. The Illuminate already waiting for them. See a creep wave. That thing is gone, but the bear will be tanking on the front line. The vacuum here on Arzard, the net. He has a Ghost Scepter. Will he be using it? Just defensive nuke being dropped out on both sides. He's still in there.
Oh, they kill the bear. They might even go in here. The bear in the front lines. If it dies again, Na'Vi is screwed. They have to fight this one. The bear taking a lot of damage. Impale into Ferrari. Vacuum in. The wall gets dropped. The wall gets stolen. Dendi steals it back. Illuminate as well. Where's that Ravage? It's cooling down. Light of Heaven running. Ghost Scepter used. Still surviving. Aegis pop. Illuminate again. Chuan. Ravage in 5, 4. And he's going to look to get it off. Will he find it in time?
Sleep! It cancels 2 TPs, and the Ravage will follow. No spin for Havos. Oh, Havos is going to get picked off. IG radiating with confidence, and Na'Vi in dire straits right now. Their base is about to fall.
I see what you did there as well. Yeah, the Ravage was used there. The wall was used as well. Dendi, he steals the wall. It's a great spell to steal, but
it's not Ravage. It's not Ravage.
And also they're so big that it just doesn't do that much. They're also so maneuverable. They don't really have to run through the wall. It's difficult to place it without vacuum to set up as well. It's not as good as Ravage because it requires that vacuum on top of it to be ultra effective. And now IG looks to breach high ground, looks to claim Rax, and if they claim this Rax, they just may claim the game. They could be the champions for this tournament, guys. It's all riding on this push if they choose to push, but they're not going to.
Na'Vi generally a very magical team. They gotta get some. They need about 20 tricks to get out of this one. Roshan, it's back very, very soon. IG, because they have huge map dominance, they will be claiming that one. Traps on the high ground to detect wards. There was none there. Again, trying to push every single wave. Here's a late game advantage when you have the Keeper of the Light. You can send a carry on the top lane, and because of recall, it basically have the morphling ability to global push. Such a powerful ability and often underrated by non-Keeper players.
Yeah, and it really it complements what they want to do, which is pressure all the lanes in preparation for that next Roshan, which is coming back soon. And then if Na'Vi chooses to fight, they're going to be taking damage on their base. Daedalus is up on Ferrari. That's big burst damage for IG. And if they lose a fight with the creep waves push like that, they're probably losing the game at that point. So that's Keeper of the Light. He does have utility. He has a lot of weaknesses as a hero, but we're seeing a lot of his strengths in this game. If this pick ends up working out, that it's Disruptor and Keeper of the Light, two pairs we didn't really expect to see from IG of all teams, but they're making them both work. Na'Vi really want to force something bottom, but look at IG. How do you force something when they're sitting this far back?
Yeah, they're forcing Na'Vi to make the offensive push, and they have to because this game is running out of time for them. Lone Druid is not going to out-carry, and I can't believe I'm saying this because Naga Siren generally gets out-carried by Lone Druid, but Naga and his team.
But with this squad backing him up.
With a squad, and that's the big thing to point out here. The net worth, he's by far so much more ahead, and oh my god.
Apparently we do have a player who is lagging. One of the very few pauses we've had for this event. Lumi, this is a tough time for a pause. Everybody take a deep breath.
I lost my breath for a long time ago. Breath for me to.
You're losing your breath, I'm losing my voice. This must be a pretty fantastic tournament.
Hopefully nothing really goes wrong.
Out what's going on in the booth. Back underway. Players talking at the moment. Na'Vi is really pushing here. Pushing into this team, it has to be said, is tall order.
Let's talk about how many ultimates on. That's a key point to point out here. We do have Chuan's Ravage up in 5 seconds.
It's up.
Right, we do have the Refresher Orb soon. And every other ultimate is back on. I mean, at this point in the game, you do expect the Naga Siren ultimate to be on. So she could just start it, and that Lincoln Sphere does so much at this point. There's going to be no canceling the spell. And at this point, what will stop that team fight? There will be no stopping on team fight. Na'Vi just have to dance around. And here we go. Na'Vi says, go. And they back off.
Yeah, you can't push into that. That's the right decision. They do have to back off here. Light of Heaven will do more damage, I feel, than any individual hero. Maybe Ferrari's TA can out DPS, but it's going to be hard. In terms of a carry versus carry situation, I think it is still Light of Heaven who's the strongest hero on the map, but it's a full team for IG. All of them can contribute. And for Na'Vi, Arsart, not having the BKB, not having the Bloodstone, not having the big items up on the Leshrac, Kavos playing a hero that can provide a lot. Is he going? Played Mail the Chainmail.
So curious, is it? Here
Well,
we
they
go.
already have one
Arzart's
on the
gonna
Lone
get
Druid.
initiated on the bot. Where's the Ghost Scepter? She pops up right now. Vacuum amongst the trees. Arzart's low, but he's popping so much pulse damage. The Bling, the Ravage. Where is it? Is it gonna be stolen? Nothing being stolen right now. The wall is gonna be stolen. Again, the wall's not doing enough at this point. Arzart said, the sleep. It's on everybody. There's gonna be a vacuum. Yes, you can bet there's gonna be a vacuum. Here we go. More AoE puppies dead. Dendi trying to hold on. Ferrari, but look at the right click from Light of Heaven. He's trying to out-carry the entire team by himself, but it's just not enough. Naga Siren, triple kill.
And this could be a turnaround. Ferrari, blink away. He escapes. What an escape. And they get 3. They don't really lose anyone in that fight. Great engagement by IG, and you can just see if Na'Vi, they know that they continue to farm. There's just too many contributors. Are they really going for it now? This is very bold.
And if you're IG, do you go straight into the Roshan pit or you go for the Rax?
all your ults are down. Schwan is getting close to a refresher orb. Maybe you just go for the Roshan. Maybe you wait for that refresher orb. Because with double Ravage, if one isn't enough, two's got to be.
Okay, I gotta look if there's any detection. Is there There's a gem. Okay, there's a gem, Havos.
Oh, are they going to try and jack this?
They can't. They're seeing that their war is getting denied. Maybe he's gonna kill Faith and then he's gonna go for it. He's chasing him around, but no, it's just too late. The sleep being used, Havos. He's got spin TP, but the net will kind of vacuum on everybody. And now, could it be the beginning of the end? The post-Nova damage, Ferrari dies, but so does Lone Druid. Arzar dies next. Havos out of mana. The Purge Blade, he's gonna go down as well. And that's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. Double kill on Darkseer.
The defending champs on the verge of going home. Illuminate, that was the big damage in the fight. It's this hard support, the Keeper of the Light in the end. There were so many other sources of damage, but there's a buyback from Light of Heaven. Again, Na'Vi is not losing racks, but they continue to slip behind in terms of item, in terms of levels. Chuan, Refresher is coming up soon. They didn't even have Ravage in that fight. That's going to be a double Ravage for this team, and you're setting it up with a Shivas, a Vacuum, the wall from Darkseer. I just don't know how Na'Vi can turn this one around.
Navi's gotta steal that Ravage.
They gotta steal it.
They just have to. I'm not sure even if it will matter at this point, but that wall being stolen is not going to be enough. Again, credit to Chuan, always finding Dendi. Dendi generally very, very elusive, but this game, it seems like he's wearing a bright yellow color and he's always getting detected.
Chuan's probably pretty good at Where's Waldo.
Yeah, he really would be, but no time for humor, at least not for Na'Vi, because Ornament life is on the line. And Lone Druid, you can see that he's been dealing a lot of damage throughout these fights, and even with the Ghost Scepter, the survivability is just not there because there's just so much lockdown. It doesn't look like it from a team, but the vacuum's always there. The traps are constantly a menace. Don't forget about Blinding Light. It just pushes everybody away and often towards the Naga, and you don't want to be anywhere near that Naga.
Yeah, and right now they still have the cheese up, the Aegis, I believe. Yeah, they do have the Aegis on those, so they didn't really lose anything big in that fight at all. The items are massive at this point. YYF is 5,000 gold. He was in off lane against a pretty difficult opponent, that being the Lone Druid. But Lumi, they're lurking on the high ground. This might be the opening they need.
Here we go. YYF could be a good target, but the sleep! You can't initiate on Naga. She just sleeps and everybody gets out. It's always going to be fun in terms of IG, and that's why it's so difficult to play against Naga.
And it's a 1 minute cooldown at this point. She is level 20. At the earlier levels, the sleep cooldown is significant, but you can just use it to escape whenever you need to. You can use it for solo hero kills, and that's this hero's strength. If you get to this point in the game, winning a fight against her, if you don't have the burst damage, if you don't have silences or multiple stuns, especially with the Lincoln Sphere, even one stun's not enough, bringing her down becomes nigh impossible. And it's not just the Naga you have to kill anyway.
Are we going to see a 12-slot Soulbear?
It's got to be at this point. I mean, who else is going to do the damage for this team?
Is Na'Vi hoping to get carried back with a 12-slot? He's not farming enough.
He's got a Demon Edge. He's working towards, I'm guessing it'll be an MKB, but 200 gold on him right now. He's not close to finishing that MKB. And TA's got more. She's got a Daedalus. She's got a, not more in terms of net worth, but she's doing probably as much damage, if not more. And the setup overall for this team, again, even Keeper of the Light is contributing right now, and Nyx Assassin just dies in team fights, can't really do anything. Juggernaut spinning, you might live for a few extra seconds, you're not going to do any damage.
Juggernaut's going Playmail.
Dire's top tower.
This is a hero that already has two ways to be immune. You know, magic immunity coming from Blade Fury, the ultimate that gives you damage immunity while you're invulnerable. You only get this item if you're behind. It's a good choice against TA. You couple that up with what the Nyx Assassin brings to the table with the Spike Carapace, and in theory, they can kill themselves trying to kill you.
I think that's what they're hoping for, because Puppey
it's a creative choice. It really
Puppey
is
what also going for a Playmail. But will they have the time to finish this?
And they're also cheap and cost-effective items.
So Puppey's trying to initiate. There's a gem on the ground, so gotta be very, very careful.
And there's a heart on Naga right now.
Oh,
they're never killing her.
The bear, look at the chop, chop, chop! 2 chop, and the bear so low at this point. They see Puppey, Puppey, oh no! Puppey's gotta run, Omni Slash being used. How much damage has it done? Not enough. Ghost Scepter, the war gets dropped down. Oh, the Playmail being turned on. They won't right click. The Ravage number 1. Oh, the Sullen! Dendi! Can he get off the Ravage number 2 Tron? No, he can! No, he can! They needed the Ravage. They got the Ravage. Navi's back! Somehow, they're back! They got the Aegis, and here we go, the bear running away. Where's the hero? The hero's so low, he's on the way out, but now Puppey, he's got no mana. He's trying to right click, then he's got the Ghost Scepter, but he's Purge. He's done. And Naga with the heart, full HP, with the Manta Sao. I think by herself, she's going right in. She's trying to win the game for her entire team.
She's got a strong back, and she's got a lot of arms here. This is a big army with the TP in from Havos. You can't man fight against Zoe. Zoe kills him off. Na'Vi on their last legs. Desperation time for them. What can they even do at this point? If they had buybacks, they would be using them. In comes Light of Heaven. YYF taking a lot of damage, but he's okay. TP in, vacuum in. Dendy doing everything he can to bring his team back. Will it be enough? Light of Heaven dropping low. Do you want a tower dive here? Telekinesis on 3. Dendy playing out of his mind, but I just don't know if it's enough.
Oh no, the Purge Blade keeping Light of Heaven locked down. So low, one more Riptide is going to do it, but he's not going to make it back to the base. Rax, they still stand. Not anymore. The last right hit for Ferrari. The slap being used, and IG, they retreat. No more following at this point. With one Rax down, Na'Vi won't give up for sure. Blink Lincoln Sphere, that's what's good for. And here we go. The Illusions will be chasing Puppey back. With one Rax down, the game still stands. There's actually not, it's not even any big deal at this point.
If this was any team except Na'Vi to be behind this much up against this team fight combination, Dendy did manage to steal Ravage. Blinks in right as the waves ripple out, just dodging them. It's almost like he was bobbing and weaving past spikes jutting out of the ground in real life, and does steal it. But that was stealing the Ravage, and they still lose racks off of it. Yes, there was an Aegis, there was a Cheese. Well, the Cheese is still up on Ferrari, in fact, so they still have the Cheese to work with. And we didn't see the double Ravage. Not at the right time, not in combination together from Chuan. So if they get it off, I feel that might be all she wrote for Na'Vi. Na'Vi, they've been fighting so well in this game. Dandy has been spectacular, but he's fighting from behind, from a deep deficit.
Really is fighting for behind. Puppey's got strats against Naga, but how ironic would it be for the Naga to do him out on the last game? Nobody's giving up on Na'Vi just yet, at least not me. They aren't the defending champ for nothing, but here we go. Another team fight, another very, very sad team fight might be incoming soon.
You can't count the squad out. They could be down 50,000 gold. Every hero could be sitting on bracers, and they'd probably still find a way to surprise us and impress us. But this might be all she wrote. They're smoked up. They're grouped up. They want to set something up on the top lane. The Rax, the tower tier 3 top does go down. That Rax is exposed now, and the melee barracks, there is no glyph. If they lose this fight, if they lose another fight, Na'Vi are definitely going to lose 2, if not 3 Rax, and that will probably be the game. So somehow, some way, this squad has to pull together as a team and get some pickoffs. They probably don't want to fight in the base. Entangle into Zoe. Here we go.
The net, Light of Heaven, down to half HP instantly. The question is, does he have buyback? And the answer is no. Rav number 1, is it stolen? It's not. Yes, it is. Dandy, no, he gets hit by the second one. And no, Naga Zoe, he's trying to fight everybody out. Havos right-clicking away, but he can't take everybody. Chuan's low, but Na'Vi players are dying. 3's dead. GG's called. GG is called. IG is your champion for International 2. They're going home with a million.
Going wild.
Oh.
Everyone hugging the Chinese flags come in. The pride on this team, the composure on the big stage. They take down the defending champions, and they come out, and they are celebrating the flags being waved, hugging Na'Vi, respect between these two teams.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Are we done?
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks